Okay, so you have a page in your notebook that looks something like this. It either talks about quadrilateral or a triangle. I think it talks about a triangle, but some of you might have one that says quadrilateral. We're actually going to skip this part. I was hoping that we would have time to do this in class, and most likely we didn't have time to do it in class this week, and that's okay. We're actually just going to jump right to the bulk of the lesson here and just kind of jump in. If we have time to do that activity, we will, or if you want to do it on your own, you can. This is where I'm going to start, though. We're going to look at some triangles, and we're going to try and find the missing angle measure. Something that you should know is that triangles all have 180 degrees on their interior angle. So we've got 77, 32, and x. Those are all going to add up. They're going to have a sum of 180 degrees. And so maybe I should have put sum up here. Sum of 180 degrees. But we've got triangles have a sum of 180 degrees. So I know that if I add up 77 plus 32 plus x, that should all equal 180. And here's where solving one-step equations is going to come in handy. Because we can combine these two numbers, 77 plus 32, and get 109 plus x equals 180. But now we can just solve. We can do the inverse of adding is subtracting. And if I do it to one side of the equal sign, then I have to do it to the other. And 109 minus 109 is 0. I can pull down my x. And 180 minus 109 is 71 degrees. And x equals 71 degrees. It seems reasonable to say that this angle right here is 71 degrees. It looks similar to this one, but a little bit smaller. So I think our answer makes sense. We can look at the next triangle. Again, our sum is 180, so sum means add. 45 plus 90 plus y is all going to equal 180. I can add 45 and 90 to get 135 plus y equals 180. And when we see addition, we know we should subtract. So the inverse of adding 135 is subtracting 135. If I do it to one side of the equal sign, then I know I need to do it to the other. So 135 minus 135 is 0. It cancels out, and I can pull down my y. 180 minus 135 is 45 degrees. So notice I'm putting a label on my answer. Y equals 45 degrees. That does seem reasonable. This angle and this angle look about the same, and so it seems like a reasonable answer to have y is equal to 45 degrees. And then down here at the bottom, we've got what we call an obtuse triangle because we've got an angle that's greater than 90 degrees. So the sum is still going to be 180. 100 plus 18 plus z equals 180. I can add the two of these, 110 and 118, to get 128 plus z equals 180. And the inverse of adding is subtracting, so I'm going to subtract 128 from both sides. These are going to cancel, and I pull down my z equals, when I subtract, I get 52 degrees. So z is equal to 52 degrees. When I look at my triangle, when I look at my figure, it seems like a reasonable angle measure. It's less than 90, which is a right angle. Up here we had a right triangle. So no matter what kind of triangle we had an acute triangle up here because all the angles were less than 90. We had a right triangle because this one was a 90-degree angle, which means it kind of comes to a corner. And we had an obtuse triangle. No matter what triangle we have, triangles all have a sum of 180 degrees for their interior angles. And so we can write equations with variables and solve for the variable to figure out what the missing value should be.